right, guys. So you've made it to day 4. Woohoo! All right, which means we are going to start a project today instead of working in our sketchbook. So you will notice that on the side of the screen here, instead of showing you a picture of my sketchbook, I'm actually showing you a large blue rectangle that says 12 inches this way and 18 inches this way. Okay, and then I wrote it out again right here. Today we will be drawing on 12 by 18 drawing paper, not all capitals in our sketchbooks. Okay, so if you are an at-home student, you should still have a piece of 12 by 18 paper that is left over from when you came and picked up your materials at the beginning of the semester. Okay, if for some reason you do not, okay, you take 2 pieces of sketchbook paper. Sorry, this is an old sketchbook. You tear them out and you tape them together and you make yourself a 12 by 18 piece of paper. Okay, it'd be the same concept as turning your sketchbook this way. But we are not drawing small, we are drawing larger today. Okay, in-person kids, Liz and Miss TG have cut 12 by 18 paper for you. So she will be passing that out in just a second. Okay. For today, I'm giving you guys some options. So I'm not going to necessarily draw an example for you because I am letting you choose what you want to draw on this 12 by 18 piece of paper. Okay. But we are going to be following the exact same step process. Okay. So you will be doing a multi-line drawing of your choice on this 12 by 18 inch piece of paper, thinking about the fact that you need to fill this paper, okay, and not just have a little tiny drawing here in the middle with a bunch of negative space around it, okay? I would say at least 60% of your paper needs to be occupied, okay? That's a lot. I'd really say more like 75 to 80 with lines and drawings, and then you don't need to have that much negative space. Okay, but we'll be using the exact same technique. I don't know why my mouse isn't working. Okay, that we used here on the still life, here on the shoe, and here on the figure studies. Okay, but you can pick any of these things. You can pick a still life, make your own. Don't do the same still life you did on day number 2, make a different one. You can find a photo of a figure model. The best thing to do when you are looking for pictures of a figure model, I'm actually going to go to the internet. The best way to find good pictures is to go to Google and type gesture drawing model and then click on images, and you will get tons, and I mean tons of different poses to look at. And then what's cool, sometimes if you click on one pose and scroll down, it will give you a bunch of related poses, and then that will, take you to somewhere else, and that will give you more related poses, which will take you somewhere else, which will give you more related poses. And there are just thousands of images out there on the internet that you can draw from. You could also, choose to do 2 figures together or focus. Ooh, look how cool that is. Oh, I should have made y'all draw that. That would have been beautiful. Okay, some of my advanced students, y'all should think about that. That's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, you can also do multi-photo ones. So just as an FYI. Okay, or option number 3 is called painting or drawing en plein air, which is a French term for going outside, which is what like the Impressionists and different artists would have done, where they would carry their sketchbook or their paper outside with, like a drawing board or an easel, and they would find a pretty scene, like maybe some trees in the forest, or a little creek with like a bridge going over it, or they would hike to a mountain, which I don't expect you guys to do, but they would go outside and they would sit down and draw the view that they see. So I haven't really given you guys a lot of opportunity to do landscapes. But if you wanted to do a landscape, that's something you could do. You could also, like, this could be a cool Mother's Day gift or Father's Day gift, or just because you could go sit in front of your house, not in the street, but, in your driveway, and look at your house and draw a picture of your house in this technique. I actually paid someone to do a portrait of my house before I moved because I wanted to be able to remember it. And that's another really cool skill to have. So I paid an artist to do a digital portrait of my house, which I'll have to show you guys later. Okay. Step number 3 before you get started is to choose a color scheme. Okay. Which is what I want to talk to y'all about right now. Okay. So color theory. Okay. In theory, you should have been exposed to the color wheel literally your entire life because every single elementary school art teacher has a color wheel up in their room. The problem is if it's something that you don't think about on a daily basis, you know, you tend to forget, okay? But I guarantee you probably made a color wheel in Mr. Postel's VA comp class. If you've taken drawing and painting 1 with me, you've made a color wheel. You probably made a color wheel in drawing 1 as well, okay? Hate to bust your bubble. You're going to make color wheels again next year. You're going to make color wheels again in college. Okay. You'll make them in painting class. You'll make them in drawing class. You'll make them in photography class because understanding color is just one of the most important aspects of making art. Okay. So I'm not going to make you guys make a color wheel, but I am going to at least review it with you. Okay. A color scheme right here is a fancy way of saying a group of colors, okay? But they've been grouped together because they have some type of a similarity, okay? So the most basic color schemes are called triads. And remember the word tri, like triptych, is going to mean 3. So our 3 most basic color schemes that you could pick from would be primary, secondary, and tertiary, okay? If you don't know the 3 primary colors, I don't know what to tell you. You just have to memorize them. It's like memorizing your ABCs, okay? Red, yellow, blue, all right? They are called the primary colors because these 3 colors are used to mix and make every single other color, not just on this color wheel, but like out there in the universe, okay? The human eye is able of distinguishing 7 million different colors. There are only 12 colors on this color wheel, but you will use some shade of red, blue, or yellow to make all 7 million of those other colors, okay? Also, if you want red, you cannot make it. You've got to start with red, okay? If you do graphic design with Mrs. Baines, sometimes red will be called magenta and blue will be called cyan. So you'll have cyan, magenta, and yellow, which is actually a slightly different color wheel, but the same concept, okay? So we've got our primaries on our inside triad. So you could pick a color scheme and you could pick a primary color scheme, and those would be your 3 colors, okay? The secondary, another option, is 3 colors made by mixing together the primaries evenly. So you mix together red and blue, you're gonna get violet, not purple, okay? You're gonna get violet, all right? You mix together red and yellow, you're gonna get orange. You mix together yellow and blue, you're gonna get green. You put those 3 colors together, that is your secondary triad, 1, 2, 3, okay? Tertiary, there's actually 6 colors, and they are the in-between colors, which I'm not really gonna go into right now, but those are your red violets, your red orange, your yellow green. But if you could imagine taking this triangle, okay, and turning it 1 degree, red, orange, yellow, green, and blue, violet, 1, 2, 3, like that. Sorry, my fingers missed. That is another triad. I could take the triangle and turn it again and get another triad. Take the triangle and turn it again and get another triad, okay? So anytime you take the color wheel and you divide it up into a triangle, you're going to get a triad. So you could pick a triad as your color scheme. You could also, like Jonathan did this in his handmade book. He made a bunch of pages that were like black and gray and had a bunch of what it's called neutral colors. So you could pick a neutral color scheme if you had a black marker and a gray marker and a brown marker and like a white gel pen, and you could do neutral colors, okay? You could also pick a complementary color scheme, which are some of my favorite because complementary colors are opposite colors, and opposite colors always attract each other. If you ever heard that saying, opposites attract, when you have two opposite colors, they're always going to contrast each other very well. So that's going to make them pop. To find a complementary color, you take a singular color on the wheel and you draw a line straight across, and the color that you hit is the opposite color, is the primary or is the complementary. So I tend to help my kids remember red and green. That's pretty obvious. If you celebrate Christmas, those are Christmas colors. Okay, if I start with blue, I draw a line straight across. All right, think about sports teams, particularly crappy SEC sports teams. All right. Sorry, I went to Georgia, so if I get an opportunity to trash on Auburn or Florida, I will. Okay, but the University of Florida and Auburn are blue and orange. Boo. Okay, and same thing, if I start with yellow and I go across, I'm going to hit violet, and this will probably make Miss TG upset, but yellow and violet, you can think about another crappy SEC team, LSU Tigers. She's going to get real mad at me because she's from Louisiana, y'all. But yellow and violet is another complementary color scheme. But you could even do it with your tertiaries, so like red, orange, and blue, green. Okay. Some also really basic color schemes is warm colors. Okay, which I know you guys probably learned in elementary school, and it's pretty basic. Warm colors, think about like fire / the desert. If you're going to paint a picture of the Sahara, you're probably, oh God, why is it always going out of focus? Okay, if you're going to paint a picture of the Sahara Desert, you're probably not going to use a lot of these colors. You're probably going to be using a lot more of these, because when we tend to think about things being hot, we think about the sun and fire and flames. Okay, and those are going to be those reds, oranges, and kind of the warmer green colors, the greens that have more of the yellow in them. Okay, cool color scheme, other side. Okay, analogous is 3 or more colors that all touch each other. So on a color wheel, the reason why we call it a color wheel is because it's round and we have this outside ring. So anytime you have 3 colors that touch each other, like for example, red, violet, and violet, they are all beside each other on the color ring. That is an analogous color scheme. So this isn't perfect, but red, violet, and violet, that's close to an analogous color scheme, for example. Okay, I could turn it that way. Now I have blue, violet, and red, violet, or I can go this way, blue, violet, and violet. I could go this way and have red, orange, and yellow, orange. Okay, or red, orange, and yellow, orange. Okay, just different things to think about, but you are going to have to choose a color scheme. Okay, so we're not doing something random like, I don't know, red, violet, green, and orange. Okay, because those don't necessarily fit together in a color scheme. The other thing you can do, I forgot to mention this because I got excited, is do tints and tones and shades. So if you had like a big box of markers, or if you had a box of like Prismacolors with 76 colors in them, or if you had that big 120 box of Crayola crayons, you know, you could do shades of blue, which is, you know, a shade is a color that gets, or a tint is a color that gets lighter, and a shade is a color that gets darker. So you could do tints, tones, and shades of a color, and that is also a color scheme. So like different shades of blue or different shades of green, that could also work as a color scheme. All right, totally up to you. All right, so you're going to pick a color scheme. I'm going back to the PowerPoint. Okay, you have lots of options. Okay, and then before class is over, Miss TG is going to stop you. You'll probably have from whenever this video is over till about 3:15, because the class ends at 3:30. And at 3:30, Miss TG is going to go over with you guys how we're going to turn in the project. And it's a 2-part turn in, which I'm not going to go over that with y'all because y'all are going to do that at 3:15. So you have from when this video is over till 3:15-ish, okay, to work session today, figuring out what you want to draw, and then getting it on this 12x18 paper using the same 3-step process that we have been using this entire time. Okay, 1 to 2 minutes on the first drawing, 3 to 5 minutes on the second drawing, 15 to 30 minutes on the third drawing, layering up with your colors. All right. I wish you guys the best of luck, and I don't know when I'll see y'all again. Technically never in person this semester. I'm going to stop talking now. All right. Bye, guys.